I realized I haven't done one of these in a long time. You know, I'm trying to build the YouTube channel up, and a lot of people are now finding out about this car. I've mostly been focused on Instagram, so a lot of people on Instagram know, the car over the years and the transitions and the modifications and kind of where it's been at and where it's going. But the YouTube guys, people have been reaching out to me on YouTube, and this might be the first time seeing this car. So I kind of wanted to do sort of a introduction video. It started life as an '89 Mustang GT. It's pretty much bone stock. Previous owner had like some Flowmaster mufflers. He put a new alternator in it and a clutch. But it was a very, simple, regular GT Fox body Mustang. Bought it in 2007. I don't know, had I think 100,000 miles on it, nothing crazy. Second gear, synchros were shot, so I couldn't, go from first to second. I had a granny shift, if you will. Put a couple different push rod motors in it, a couple different T5 transmissions. That's been through a lot of changes. 2010, I did the 5-lug swap. I did Wolf through the floor subframe connectors. I already had gears in the rear end, so I stayed with the '89 housing. Just went to the '95 axles. It has Mosier 28 spline rear axles, ARP extended studs all the way around. Last year, 2 years ago, when did I go? 2022. I did a Torsen T2R rear diff. It's got 327 rear gears. I did all the axle seals and bearings, painted the rear end, all that. Like I said, I had 373s, or I had 355s, went to a 373. Then now I'm at a 327, which I like a lot. The 327 is a really great gear for the track. Blew up a couple 302s. I ran a stock 302 for a while. Then I did pretty much an Explorer 302. Then I fully built a 306 Windsor. Blew that up with less than 2,000 miles racing down in Jersey. I dropped a valve chasing a bunch of friends. It was a fully built 306 Windsor, internally balanced, comp cam, aluminum heads. It was all fancy. I spent a lot of money, way too much money for a Windsor-based motor. It was really stupid. So I blew that up, sold all the Windsor stuff, sold all the T5s I had. I had a spare block, everything, all the MSD ignition. I was running the Stinger Performance Pimp XS standalone. I had all the Windsor goodies, sold all that in late 2019, early 2020, and that's April was when I bought the Gen 2 Coyote F-150 motor that you see here. I bought it out of a local junkyard for $2,500 or $2,800. Had 24,000 miles on it. It's a Gen 2 F-150 motor. This is a Gen 3 Mustang intake manifold. I put American Racing long tube headers on it. Stock airbox, as you see. I have a air raid dry mesh air filter in there. Oil filters coat the MAF, and these MAFs are really picky on these Coyotes. I put the Mustang windage tray in it. I did an MMR lightweight water pump pulley. Last year I put on the ATI harmonic balancer because I'm spinning more revs than an F-150 usually would spin. So I figured, a little more harmonics, balancer and dampener couldn't hurt. We're running a Volvo Ford power steering pump, which is back here. That was the cheapest and easiest way to set up power steering on the Coyote. You can run a 96-04 mod motor power steering pump, but the bracket that Power by the Hour makes is like $500, $600, and that is absurd. You would mount the alternator here facing the motor and then a mod motor power steering pump. I thought that was ridiculous. I mounted the alternator in the stock location. Very simple. So I'm running the Volvo pump because that just seems simple. It was $180 on eBay. you buy a like a $70. You're probably not going to be able to see it here, but it's like a $70 two pigtail harness, and wired up. I got it wired up to a switch. You can also see here I'm running an AccuSump. That's a 3-quart oil AccuSump, which helps with oiling, pressure loss and volume loss around corners and elevation changes. My Willwood brake proportion valve is here in the car, so I can change that on the fly while driving. This is an Element fire extinguisher. This is a standard fire extinguisher. What else we got going on back here? This is a MGW shifter with their race lever. I had a friend machine like an 8-inch piece of aluminum just to bring the shift knob closer to me. What else? Kirky seat. Bunch of fun stuff. DOM cage. My friends and I managed to figure out how to get the ECU inside the cabin. Most Coyote swaps, you know, the guys mount it with the in the engine bay. I didn't want to mount it by the heat. Mishimoto oil cooler, went up a size, like double the size of what I usually run. Mishimoto dual pass Fox body radiator, making it work. Feel 441 coilovers, the full catalog. It's got a TR3650 trans. This is a rock solid Motorsports tubular front end. The reason I went with this is because in April of 22 I stuffed the car into a tire wall at Watkins Glen, and it really mangled up the front. So I kind of fixed and repaired what I could and ran it for the rest of the year, and at the end of the year I just chopped off the front and, you know, had my buddy Donnie TIG weld this in. It just made sense. It was, you know, it was too far gone to really repair. I made the fuel system myself. It's all -6 PTFE lines, stainless steel braided, by a company called Hot Rod Fuel Hose. They make a bunch of adapters and fittings and everything you need for any kind of fuel system stuff. I even run -6 on the high pressure side for the power steering pump stuff, also PTFE. Everything here is probably, you know, the basic, easiest, most functional way to do a Coyote swap. We made our own brake lines, made our own harness, used the Power by the Hour Gen 2 manual trans control pack. Got some gauges here, my AIM Solo 2 DL, Longacre kill switch. What else? 315 Toyo RRs all the way around, 18x11 Cosmos wheels. We're running pretty much a Ford Taurus rear brake setup. That's on a dual vented rotor, the Cobra rotor, but the Taurus pad is a little bit bigger, so that's what was kind of correct for this setup. Up front, I was running the 0304 Cobra brakes for a while, and then a friend sold me the Cadillac ETS Brembo stuff, so I've kind of made that work. What else? Coilovers all the way around, Maximum Motorsports, Panhard bar, torque arm, racing lower control arms, no rear sway bar, front sway bar. I just put on these Steeda billet aluminum sway bar mounts up front. The stock ones were all banged up and bent, so I found out the Steeda makes these nice billet aluminum ones. Gorilla Motorsports made my outer tie rods. I'm running the SN95, the newer stuff, inner tie rods. What else? Stock flywheel, spec stage 1 clutch. The TR3650 is out of a 9904 Mustang. It's still cable clutch, which again is the cheapest, easiest way to do. A Coyote swap. What else did we do? Stock ECU. Had my friend with HP tuners come over. We raised the rev limiter from 6,800 to 7,500. You have to change the firing order and the injector timing if you're using an F-150 motor. And we also disabled cold start. Batteries back here. I just put a steel hatch back on. I had a fiberglass lift-off hatch forever. This is a 9 Lives wing that also Gorilla Motorsports, he made the uprights, so I'm getting that to work. Just got the LX spoiler back on. Got to still permanently mount that. What else? We're running American Racing X pipe after the long tube headers into some race bullets, race mufflers, and then I V-band on some Spintech Sportsman mufflers. Car's still loud. I'm planning on doing a 2-to-1 exhaust, but that'll get there. Flat bottom floor, that'll get there. As you see, these are my aluminum side skirts I'm trying to make. A lot of plans with Aero. These are JDM fender flares, 4-inch flares. These are some SVO side spats I bought off a kid in Long Island. Just again, try to get a little more airflow around the big tires and wheels. It was a sunroof car. I cut out the sunroof many years ago. Put a simple piece of aluminum. The car is going to get vinyl wrapped again, so it will look a lot nicer than this. Ford Racing aluminum drive shaft. I had to shorten that a little bit doing the Coyote swap. It's got all, like I said, full MM package, K-member, tubular A-arms. I'm running Raybestos brakes. What else? What else? It's a blast to drive. She needs to get corner balanced again. We're going to do the alignment again. A lot of fun. Car's got plenty of power. Before we raised the rev limiter, it made 400 to the wheels at 6,800. So now, assuming I'm spending $7,000, it probably makes a little over 400. It's plenty of power. The car's really light. It used to be, I don't know, 2,700 pounds, give or take. Way back in the Windsor days, I actually had it around 2,500 pounds. So you really get a lot of weight out of these cars. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun and a lot of ups and downs, but overall, it's a blast. And I'm trying to be competitive. That's the goal. Go out there, have fun, but it's also nice to be competitive. Got a little bit more work to do. There's always things on the list. Over the years, kind of, there's the fun projects, and then there's the things that I actually have to do. But yeah, the Coyote motor has been incredible. 2 years ago, Chris and we took the timing cover and valve cover off. I did a Boundary oil pump gear, Boundary crank gear, and their back half of the oil pump housing. We also did the Boss 302 primary chain tensioners. There is an MMR, what do they call it? The timing. It's a timing wheel on the back. I forgot what they call it, but it's almost a bone stock F-150 motor. It's unbelievable how incredible these engines are. Like I said, stock ECU, stock tune. I haven't even tuned it. I just run 93. I'm sure I'm leaving like 50 horsepower out on the table. A lot of guys, trim the fuel and play with the variable valve timing. It's I just kind of something I haven't done, and I'm sure it's another $500 to $800 to do that. Honestly, the class that I'm trying to stay in with NASA, the car is overpowered and underweight, so I don't really plan on making any more power. I've kind of been short shifting for a while, so I just, the goal is to get the car better balanced, to get it corner balanced again and really dialed in. I'm redoing the front splitter. Just honestly, aero, a lot of aero. So just a lot. I kind of want to make this as quick as I can. I know I can ramble, but Kirky seat, nothing fancy there. Yeah, it's MM manual brake conversion was another thing. I forgot what newer master cylinder I'm using, but when you go Coyote, you cannot use the factory vacuum booster. You have to go hydro or manual, and for this setup, manual was a better preferred option. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's pretty simple compared to a lot of the newer modern stuff, but I'm having a lot of fun. Car is really quick, loud. It's plenty. I'm still learning. So just want to do a quick video. I don't know the time. I keep saying quick, but some people were asking me on YouTube that kind of new to the whole setup here. So it's yeah, it's been fun.